Tuesday, August the 2nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Heat continuing to be the big weather story across our region here for the next couple of days, although the humidity levels are very low. Kind of that dry type of heat for us the next couple of days. We'll talk about that, plus some storm chances returning to the region. Also, Tropical Storm Emily finally with us down in the Caribbean Sea. And I'll spend some time on Emily here as we get to the later portions of this video. Look at the heat advisory and warning products that are out in a whole lot of locations from, say, Lake Michigan down to the Gulf Coast. And all those peat-shaded counties, that's some type of heat-related product. And just the stifling heat continues. In fact, the 4 a.m. temperature at Love Field there in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is still 91 degrees. That is ugly. In a lot of areas in the mid-80s still, from Dallas, otherwise outside of Love Field up to around Oklahoma City and parts of the Ozarks. Just a really ugly morning in terms of the heat, and it's going to be another triple-digit day in pretty much all those spots I just mentioned. There's the dew point temperatures. Now, we had a break from the dew points yesterday in terms of the high dew point values, pretty low levels of humidity yesterday, and I think that's going to be the case again today and really tomorrow as well. But the heat will be cranking, a little hotter today than yesterday, and then a little hotter tomorrow than today. In terms of rain and thunderstorm activity, really the nearest significant activity to us, well up into the Midwest and the upper Great Lakes region there. Pretty good line of storms moving from Minnesota into Wisconsin. Those storms have been severe at times this morning. There's a big heat ridge centered from the desert southwest through the southern plains into parts of the lower Mississippi Valley. Notice we are in a northwest flow aloft here in our region, right on the edge of this ridge. So it's hot, and with this northwest flow aloft, we are seeing some disturbances occasionally move our way, but the air is so dry, it's just really tough to get any significant shower or thunderstorm activity going. On Friday, the ridge kind of becomes pretty broad and flattens out a bit. It'll still be pretty hot, but I think the extreme levels of heat will back down a bit here across our region. And I just wanted to show you this. The European model is showing signs of maybe a true pattern change by later on next week, maybe by the 10th or 11th of August. We will see. I don't have any huge confidence in that, but maybe some signs of a pattern change overall as we get toward the middle stages of August. All right, but the heat's the big story here the next couple of days. Our highs today, mid to upper 90s across the Piedmont. Tomorrow it'll be upper 90s to lower 100s, so it's going to be a hot Wednesday. And as the next little storm system drops in, I do think tomorrow night there's the chance of a couple of thunderstorms in parts of the region, so that'd be Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then thereafter, there's Thursday and there's Friday. We're looking at the scattered afternoon variety of thunderstorm chances. Saturday, much the same. And then it kind of gets complicated. It'll largely depend on how significant our rain chances are. Will depend on the exact track of Emily down the road. So there's Sunday and there's Monday on the GFS, and you just kind of got to take that with a huge grain of salt right now, because the big question mark is really Emily. There's what Emily looks like on the satellite imagery this morning. A couple things to point out. You look at this at face value, and the outflow looks very, very good with the tropical storm. However, there are some upper-level winds kind of infringing upon the system from the northwest underneath this outflow of cirrus clouds. And so that is kind of hindering any significant development. And also, the air mass is extremely dry here over parts of the Caribbean Sea up around the Bahamas, and that's also playing a role in keeping Emily from really exploding in intensity. Now, here's the spaghetti charts, and you look at that, and it looks like almost a certainty that Emily will have some type of interaction with Hispaniola. And, of course, Hispaniola is an extremely mountainous island. That'll have an adverse effect on the tropical system. And then, of course, Cuba, a very large island nation, and we'll see how much it interacts with Cuba as well. So the bottom line here is I just don't think Emily's going to be able to get terribly strong here over the next 3 days or so as it's interacting with, first of all, the actual weather features I mentioned a moment ago, and second of all, those larger Caribbean islands. Here's the Hurricane Center forecast. They take it up across western and central Hispaniola, eastern tip of Cuba, through the Bahamas, and then up to near the southeast coast over the weekend. Here's the intensity models here, and let me kind of illustrate for you. I know this is a little tough to see. There is the hurricane threshold right there. So we still have some of the modeling getting this up to hurricane intensity. It's just going to be kind of a tough go for it here over the next few days. Here's the Canadian model. It eventually takes this into the eastern Gulf of Mexico at 132 hours. GFDL has it off the Florida coast out here at, let's see, this would be valid out the 6th of August at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Hurricane Wharf model takes it up fairly close to the South Carolina coast by the evening and the overnight hours there of the 6th into the 7th of August. And finally, the NOGAPS, one of the furthest west models, because it keeps it so weak. And I will say the European and the GFS model really weaken Emily as well over the next couple of days. So as far as the track guidance goes, let me go back to the spaghetti charts here. As far as the track goes with Emily, the weaker the system stays, the further west track it'll take. The stronger it gets, probably the further east track it would take. So really, it's just one of those things for anybody from the central Gulf Coast around all the Florida coast and then up through the Carolina coast. You need to keep a close watch on Emily's progress, as anybody within that cone is still in the realm of possibility to see some impacts from Emily down the road. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's edition of the video. Have a great Tuesday, and God bless.